Rex Huppke. I'm a columnist at the Chicago Tribune. I write a workplace advice column, which runs every Monday in the business section. It's called I Just Work Here. I write a lot about everything from in-office issues, a lot of stuff about job searches. One column I wrote a while back, which got a real good response, was sort of a rant against companies that had started posting jobs that they tagged as unemployed need not apply. More people over the age of 55 are working now than ever in the past. I think it's about 40% of Americans 55 and over are in the labor force. The bad side of that, of course, is the reason that there are that many people in the labor force, which is because they need to still be in the labor force. Overall, you're seeing an increase in people 55 and over getting jobs, even compared to a younger demographic. In the last 5 years, people 55 and over have gained 3.6 million jobs, compared to a younger demographic, which has lost 7.6 million. You are seeing some indications that there is some stronger movement in hiring of people 55 and older. Part of that is because a lot more companies are starting to recognize the value of seasoned professionals. And now that's good. Again, to swing over to the maybe not so good side, some of the reason that there's a value is that companies can now say, oh great, I can get somebody who's got a lot of experience, somebody who's really been in the job force for a while, and I can pay them less. Okay? Now for some people they're like, okay, that's great, give me a job, I don't care, and so basically there's a lot of dynamics, and it's a really tricky thing to nail down from a sort of a philosophical standpoint among companies. And a lot of companies that I've talked to in various interviews over the past year here, there's a bigger push for diversity basically everywhere, and that certainly includes hiring more seasoned professionals. But also there has been a shift where a lot of companies are starting to recognize, okay, whereas I used to maybe bring in somebody straight out of college and train them up to where I want them to be, I can go out and find somebody who's 45 or 50 who has a wealth of experience to bring to the table. I can get them in my company and they're going to do well. They can act as mentors even for some of the younger people at the company. Does that translate to an explosion of job openings? Of course not. No, it doesn't. But it does provide some hope. If you go into the job interview, for example, recognizing that you do have qualities to bring to the company that the company might be receptive to, you kind of break that stereotype of like, they're going to want some youngster, they're not going to want me. I really don't think that's the case. There was a paper not too long ago out of the Wharton School of Business that took a bunch of different takes from various economic experts and researchers and management and that sort of thing, and they kind of just ticked off the qualities that come with seasoned professionals. People 55 and older tend to take fewer sick days than younger people. There's a greater retention. A lot of people are more eager to get something and to sit down and stay there, as opposed to get something and possibly move on and keep kind of ping-ponging around in the corporate ladder, that sort of thing. One fact, there's a natural assumption that it may cost more from a healthcare standpoint to hire somebody who's a little older. That's actually not true, according to various studies that have been done, because a lot of times you get someone and their kids are gone, so you're no longer insuring a full family, you're just insuring one or two people. So the healthcare costs in a lot of cases are actually lower. Ageism is absolutely out there. I have no way of saying exactly how is that going to get knocked down, but I think what you have to do is look at the fact that there are positive signs, both statistically in the actual jobs numbers that are coming out, but also just, like I said, philosophically. Companies really are thinking about things differently. And so I think it's really important as a job seeker to recognize that and to try, easy to say, hard to do, but try when you're going into any kind of a job interview or what have you, to not have that sort of in the back of your head, like, they're not going to like me because they want somebody younger. I think if you have the qualifications and the personality and the various other attributes that they're looking for, less and less, at least, people are going to somehow knock you for the fact that you've been around longer than this other candidate over here. It's frustrating. I mean, I wish I could stand up and say everything's going to be rosy, but you all would know that I was even more of a politician than I may have previously sounded like. So I think you need to, when you think of yourselves, don't think of yourself as I'm a 57-year-old job candidate, or I'm a 63-year-old job candidate, or whatever. You're a job candidate, period. You know, try not to attach that to it, you know, and that will help. I think that's important, is to just remember, be who you are, and don't let age or anything else act as a block. So.